I understand bonding is floating out there someplace. Maybe they even did arrive at a bill or proposed bill. The bill I saw last night, $13 million less than a billion, so to speak, is probably not the kind of bill the governor is going to be attracted to. So that's up to him, but I'm not terribly optimistic there. I will say I am somewhat optimistic that we continue to work on GAMC. I don't think there's anybody in this Capitol that believes that we shouldn't and are not committed to moving forward on that. So even as we speak, I understand there's people working on this, and hopefully it will culminate into something that's good. I will say this, that as we've gone through the reiterations here and gone through vetoes and override sustainments, I think that's simply a message that Republicans both in the House and the Senate are going to stand firm, and we want something in the area of GAMC that's good, that's sustainable, that's long-lasting, and certainly can work. Beyond that, this week, of course, was the week of the budget numbers, and Senator Poggemiller is going to, I believe, start piecing this together. I understand their committees have, for the most part, met. The finance committees have met and have identified at least their budget proposals. We'll see how that looks probably next week. And then we get to the process. What's the process going to be? And I think Senator Poggemiller perhaps even spoke of it, has this notion about a chip here and a chip here and a chip here and a chip here. We're not going to at all, I don't think, be attracted to that. We, I think, believe that we have to look at this budget in its totality. The governor proposed his budget. You can like it or not, but certainly he proposed a supplemental budget in a total fashion. To believe the Senate, or for that matter, I would say the House is going to take this in segments, it's just not going to work that way. We're not going to get trapped into some end game down here that doesn't look at the budget in its entirely. So hopefully Senator Poggemiller will recognize that, and that we'll come forward with a budget, and we can work on that, whether it's in the legislative commission or within the framework of leadership or wherever it might be. We can work on it and make something happen. And then lastly, let me just offer my sincere compliments and congratulations to Senator Koch, who put a great effort forward yesterday in the name of advancing nuclear power in Minnesota. It was not successful, but I think our voice was heard, and we will go forward. This is not the kind of issue that's going to go away at all. It's going to hang around, and it's going to be around, and my belief is it's probably even going to come back. So we continue to go down the nuclear power road in the sense of lifting that moratorium, and I'm just going to stop there and let Senator Koch chime in.
Said, I think that we, the Senate Republicans and Minnesota had a really great night last night in the Energy Committee. The discussion was very high level. It was very respectful, and we talked about issues that are really going to matter. We're going to have to deal with the energy issues of the state. It's an economic issue. We are going to need baseload power, and nuclear energy provides carbon-free baseload power. And that was the discussion. I think we fought hard for it. In the end, there was an amendment that was just simply not acceptable because it. Some parts of it were fine, I guess, but the big thing was the poison pill in there, was that a certificate of need could not be issued before something permanently was established on the federal level, which is exactly the situation we have right now anyway. As we all know, the feds have been 30 years almost trying to put this thing together, and from the Republicans' perspective, we feel it's time for the states to get behind and start pushing the issue, and frankly forcing the issue, because waiting for the feds has gotten us nowhere. And that's what we had last night when the amendment went on. And I would also point out that it was bipartisan opposition to the amendment. But after a great discussion, the amendment did go on. And I just felt that until we're ready to get serious about nuclear power, and that's lifting that moratorium, then we should sit in energy and see what we can work out.
Is the bill effectively dead for this session?
You know, I think that we've got, there could be attempts on the floor. Of course, we had a really great, successful effort on the floor last year. And so we're going to keep working the issue, but if not this session, I intend to be back next year, and I will be no less passionate about the issue, I assure you.
I'll be a little facetious. I'm kind of thinking we should maybe invite President Obama to the St. Paul State Capitol, since he is advocating for nuclear power, at least in Georgia, in terms of a loan guarantee, And so what's wrong? What are the politics of this? Why do our folks on the other side feel as they do? Their own president's advancing it in Georgia. So we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be back, at least on the floor.
Quickly on bonding bill, you said you're not optimistic. Why not? The chair
Well,
wrapped up and want the
I mean,
governor to
we've heard just very regularly the governor suggesting that that bring it in about 725. I can wiggle a little bit on that, but at I believe 983, it might be just a little strong for him. I have not talked to him, but that's just my instincts. And
But it has his projects in it.
it has
now.
got his projects in it.
Why are you still not optimistic?
Well, I
We've got
don't think,
something.
I think the governor's still, okay, he had to have his projects, but he also had to have his number or close to it. And so I think they're halfway there, but I don't think they've probably met the number goal that the governor's going to be happy
Is
with.
it realistic for him to get his projects and his number?
The meeting, well, time will tell. I don't know. But it doesn't appear, at least through a legislative effort, that it's going to be possible. But we'll see. Again, I don't have a clue what he's going to do with the bill. But if we go back to the letter of a couple of Monday nights ago, I think that letter was clear about what his parameters were, and I think they're probably met only at about a 50% level within the bill that I saw last night. Oh, I think the bill is just it's up to him. My instincts are that if you go back to that letter, and I've never in my time here, when the governor issues a letter like that, I think the statement was clear. It's got to be around 7.25. We can wiggle a little bit, and it's got to have my project. It's not there. He threatened to take it down. In fact, he was going to take it down a couple of Mondays ago, and I don't believe he deviates from that a lot. But that's, again, up to him.
Senator, our Survey USA poll shows that 42% of people approve of the job the governor's doing and 25% the legislature. Neither of those numbers is very good. What does that say about this whole process?
Well, I think we'll have to work harder, obviously. I think that's not atypical of what legislative ratings are, but I do think that obviously we can work better together. And I think the example of which is a bonding bill, the example of which is GAMC. I mean, we can make this far less ugly if we just sit down and do it the right way the first time. Get consensus. We don't tend to do that. We're more kind of in the face in terms of working with each other, and my sense is we could do that better.
Do you think the governor is distracted at all by his travel and his...
Oh, absolutely not. No more than, there's a lot of people running for governor up here, and no more distracted than they are. So
Congress.
Or Congress, for that matter. You're right. And no, the governor's on board, on hand, always available, and in play. I don't know. I just don't think the governor's going to line item. That's just my instincts. I think of his choices, he'll go back to his letter and he'll do what he said he was going to do, and that's take the bill down.
Has your community had any success with him on the Mayo Civic Center project?
Am I what?
Has your community had any success with the governor to persuade him that the Mayo Civic Center?
I don't think any more than anybody else. Certainly they've lobbied hard, they've urged, they've told him of the virtues of the place from the standpoint of 80 outstate conventions not coming to Rochester or Minnesota each year because of the fact that it isn't large enough to accommodate that kind of an audience. But I mean, that's the message, but whether it resonates or not, who knows.